Okay, so we're going to um, be talking about the last word problem. It's a little more involved than the other ones, but I think we can handle it. And so let's just begin. So this one says Herman just got his commercial driver's license and is starting a new career as a truck driver. Getting trained and licensed involved a one-time cost of $481. Gas and insurance ended up costing him $2 per kilometer. So there's two types of monies amounts involved. There's one involved with getting his license and training, and that's what we just read. So that was $481. And then while he was driving during that time, it cost him about $2 per kilometer. So for his first delivery, so his first job, Herman will get paid $362 plus $3 per kilometer that he drives. If he drives a certain distance on the delivery, Herman will break even, make all the money back he had to spend. How much would the cost and earnings be, and what distance would he have to drive? So he's going to make money on his first job, right? He's making $362 and then $3 every kilometer he drives. Okay, so that's the money he's making. So there's money he spent and money he's making. And they're asking, after how many kilometers of driving on that first job will he make back all the money he spent? So that's what we're asked to find. So we're asked to find two separate things. We have to find out how much the cost and earnings will be. So that's one of the things we need to find. And what's the distance he has to drive? That's what we're trying to find out. So that's what we set up variables for. So we're going to define the variables based on that information. Okay. So we want the cost and earnings. So I'm just going to use the variable C for that. And that's the cost / earnings, depending on the situation. Okay. And the other one is the distance he drove in kilometers. And that's this one. The distance, what do you have to drive? So that's distance in kilometers. Okay. All right. So those are the variables. And then from that information we just read, we're going to get two separate equations. So let's go back and see what that information was. I'm jamming up against these eyeballs. By the way, I have a couple of eyeballs here if you're at home there. Well, we all have a couple of eyeballs, but my paper has a couple of eyeballs. Okay, so let's go back and get some equations, guys. Getting trained, I'm going to highlight this part. Getting trained and licensed involved $481. Gas and insurance cost him $2 per kilometer. That gives me one of the equations, right? Let's total up that cost. So the cost was C, right? And C turns out to be how much money?
362.
Well, before that, the one I highlighted first.
40.
Yeah, let's do 481. It cost him $481 in fees plus $2 per kilometer. So how would I write that? If the kilometers is D. 2D. Yeah. If I was using X, that would be the way we would go with that, but I use D for the distance in kilometers. Okay, so there's our first equation. That's how much, that's basically the cost for the license. So I'm going to just call that the cost. That's the cost. Let's talk about the earnings, how much he's getting in, how much he's making, if you will. And so, yeah, we'll get paid $362 plus $3 per kilometer. So let's set that up. That's going to be his earnings, but we're also calling it C. And C in this case is 362 plus $3 per kilometer. 3D. Okay, so this is the earnings. Okay, so there's our two equations, one for the cost, one for the earnings. We want to know where they break even, where they're this way, where they are the same. So when things are the same, we say they're equal, right? So this is basically a substitution problem. Since you have C equals and C equals, all you really have to do is pick one of them, like say I pick this second one, and go here to the first equation, and instead of C, put 362 plus 3D in place of that. And I would have an equation with only D's in it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rewrite the equation. I'm going to rework this. I'm going to take this equation, rewrite it here like this. Instead of C, I'm going to put 362 plus 3D equals 481 plus 2D. And that's the break-even point. Okay, this is where they break even. That's, you see where it says we'll break even. This is what we're talking about. Okay, well, we got variables on both sides of the equation. Let's get rid of the 2D on the left, on the right. Okay, so I see plus 2D, subtract 2D. And then do the same thing on the left side. Okay, and we get 362. 3D take away 2D is 1D. Is it okay if I just write it as D instead of 1D? Probably better that way. Okay, get rid of 362 and we'll have the distance. Okay. 481 take away 362 is 119. Thank you. So that's the distance. He had to drive 119 kilometers. Let's figure out how much money that was. The cost / earnings. So for this, pick any of the equations you like. Let's see here. I think I will pick the bottom one because I see smaller numbers there, sort of. So basically, take this equation C equals 362 plus 3D, and we're going to replace 3 times D with 3 times 119. So let's do it. And now let's just multiply 3 times 119, 362 plus 357. So if you total that up, it's 719. So the break-even point is at $719. So after he pays out from his first earnings, $719, he starts making money. He's paid for his training and his license, and now it's just making money. Right now they're in need of truck drivers and long haul. They're giving big bonuses. Bless you. All right, so let's let's go ahead and answer this. The cost / earnings is $719, and the distance is 119 kilometros. Okay, so I'll give you a minute to kind of take that all in. I'm just going to leave out the glue sticks up on the cart there, and if you wouldn't mind, if you would like to paste that into your notebook, you can help yourself. Just return it. We're going to do delta math next, okay, guys? So is anyone still doing this? Okay, so we're going to continue with the assignment. The assignment is called Solving System Story Problems. There's 5 questions. That's all, just 5 questions. We'll do one together, and then you'll have the other 4 to do on your own. Basically, I'm just doing 5 that I handpicked, similar to what you need to know for the test. So by the way, tomorrow we're not having the test. Tomorrow we'll review, and then the test will be on Thursday. And so let's begin. Everyone open up the first question. This is it. And we'll do this one together. Remember, you really can't do these without doing some scratch work on paper. So you really should have some paper handy so you can do the work. Same thing on the test. I'm going to give you scratch paper. Basically, I'm going to have to see your work so I can give you credit, even though the test is on the Chromebook. All right, so let's begin. It says Colton has math and reading homework tonight. Colton can solve each math problem in 3 minutes, and he can read each page in 1.5 minutes. The number of pages Colton can read is twice the number of problems he solved. And it took him 54 minutes to complete all his homework. Determine the number of math problems. So we're looking for the number of math problems. So that's going to be, I'll call it M. M is going to be the number of math problems. And the number of pages read So I'm going to call that P, pages read. So M is for the number of math problems he did, and P is for the number of pages he read. Okay, so let's go back. So I'm going to reread this, and it tells me math problems, took him 3 minutes per problem. And pages, it was 1.5 minutes per page. So that deals with minutes. And then it says it took him 54 minutes to complete it all. So let's total up his minutes. How long did it take him to do a math problem?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. So it's 3 minutes. And then how many math problems did he do? We're calling it M. So the total number of minutes for all the math problems, if it's 3 minutes per problem, and he did M problems, would be 3M, 3 times M. This represents all the minutes for the math problems. Let's do the minutes for reading the pages. That's 1.5 minutes, right? And how many did he read? What are we calling it? P. So it's 1.5 times P, or 1.5 P. And that should total up to 54. So there's one equation, 3M plus 1.5 P equals 54. This one deals with how many minutes. Okay. Now, there should be some other piece of information that's going to allow us to write another equation. What else have we missed there that's going to help us with the second equation? Yes?
The pages are, the number of pages Fulton read was twice the number of math problems he solved.
Yeah, that right there. So, pages Colton read, so the number of pages he read is twice the number of math problems he solved. The pages he read is twice. What did he do? What did he have do more of? Read pages or do math problems? Based on that. What did he do more of? Read pages or do math problems?
Reading the pages.
Yeah. So the number of pages is P, right? So if I want to figure out the number of pages he read, it has to be twice the number of math problems he did. So P equals 2 times what?
2M.
2M. That's how you figure those out. Figure out which one is the higher one. So to calculate the number of pages, you multiply the number of math problems times 2. And that's what I get from that one, that phrase there. So now I got a system. I can solve it. Where should I substitute? I want to put this 2M somewhere.
3M is 1.5 times 2M.
Yeah, but does it go in for M or does it go in for P?
For P.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to go in here. Okay, so this is going to be, instead of that P, I'm going to put 2M here. And that's going to be 54. Okay. So now, 3M plus 1.5 times 2M equals 54. I know it looks messy. It's got decimals, but multiplying by 1.5 is not too bad. 1.5 times 2 is 3, right? So that's doable. I mean, we've done worse. This becomes 3M equals 54. All right, let's Combine that. Let's see, 3m and 3m is 6m. It's 54. And then divide that by 6. So how many math problems did he do?
9.
No. So over here, where they're asking for math problems, let's put in 9. Okay, and then let's take this equation, P equals 2 times M, and we're going to multiply 2 times 9, which is 18. And that gives us the number of pages he read. So over here, let's put 18. Okay, and there you have it. So the other problems are meant to be, they're very similar to this. Okay, so read it through. You have to read carefully. Use this as a model. And then work the other 4, and that'll be the assignment. Okay? Any questions? Okay, so if you're at home, you do the same thing, and the test will be Thursday now.